So now with multiplying fractions basically mean part of another part. To help you understand what this definition means, I have an example down below to help. So it says that Tom and Jane ate 1/2 of a pizza. Tom ate 1/4 of the half. How much did Tom eat? Well, if you look at the second line, it said Tom ate 1/4 of a half. What does that of mean? Well, the word of in word problems basically means times. So how do I even show 1/4 times 1/2, or in this case, of 1/2? Well, I have a diagram below just to help me. So at first, they said that Tom and Jane ate 1/2 of the pizza. So I will say that they ate this half, and this half they didn't eat. And then from that half, Tom only ate 1/4. So I only put this half that they did eat into 4 equal slices, and I will shade in only one of those slices. So that's how much Tom ate. So as we could see here, this is how much Tom ate. Now, how can I show that numerically? Well, if I extend the lines, so if I extend this line, and this line, I could see that it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slices. So I could say that he ate 1 out of 8 slices. And now if we do it numerically, then what we have to do is just multiply the numerators together, so 1 times 1, and multiply the denominators together, so 4 times 2. So I get 1 out of 8. So I could see that it's the same answer. So therefore, Tom ate 1/8 of the pizza. Now, another example for this can be 3/5 times 4/3. So instead of drawing it, we could just multiply the numerators together, so 3 times 4, and the denominator together, so this is 5. So 5 times 3, and I get my numerator to be 12, my denominator to be 15. Now I could see that our answer can be simplified. So I would first find the GCF, and I would get 3, so I would have to divide our numerator and denominator by 3. And for the numerator, I would get 4, and for the denominator, I would get 5. And now with dividing fractions just mean we are multiplying fractions with its reciprocal. Now, what reciprocal means is basically where you kind of flip the fraction around. So, an example of that can be 3 out of 4 the reciprocal of that is 4 out of 3. Or even in mixed number, it would be 1 3/3. Now let's say if we had 1 over 3, the reciprocal of that is 3 over 1, or even just 3. And say if we just had a whole number, so let's say 17, the reciprocal would be 1 over 17, because technically the numerator is 17 and the denominator is 1. So now with dividing fractions, let's say we had 3/4 divided by 7/8. So instead of dividing fractions, we're going to be multiplying with its reciprocal. So we would only use the reciprocal for the last fraction. So the reciprocal of 7/8 is 8 over 7. So I would write 3/4, and instead of dividing it, now I'll put multiplied by 8/7. And then I would multiply the numerator together and the denominator together, and I would get 24 over 28. And now I could see that this could be simplified, so I would divide, and I would first find the GCF of each one, and I would get 4, so I would divide the numerator by 4. Oh, this one's kind of big. The numerator by 4 and the denominator by 4, and I would get 6 over 7. So that would be our final answer. Another way of writing a division question is by having, say, a fraction as the numerator. So let's do 4 over 5, and a fraction on the denominator. So let's do 15 over 20. So that's like saying 4 over 5 divided by 15 over 20. Now we have to find the reciprocal of this, and we get 20 over 15. So when we multiply by its reciprocal, it would be 4 over 5 times 20 over 15. So we would end up having to multiply the numerators together and the denominators together, and we would get our numerator to be 80 and our denominator to be 75. And now we could see that this can be simplified. So we would have to find the GCF, and the GCF for this will be, I believe, 5. So let's first try with 5. Let's see if it could be simplified more after on. So if we divide it by 5, we get 16. And then if we divide 75 by 5, we get 15. So we could see that simplified, and we could even put it into a mixed number where it becomes 1 and 1 over 15. So this is how we multiply and divide fractions.